Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. You guys are reading the title. We're going to be talking about ADA. Appreciate, all the support. You guys are absolutely, killing it with the support. Continue supporting and you will see these daily updates. But a lot has happened. Over the course of the last 24 hours, we have seen so much happening in such a short span of time for the crypto markets. And I'm sure if you did watch my XRP update last night, as well as the HBAR or XLM one, you guys know what's happening. But ADA right now, you can see across the board, it is down about 3.2%, but we are going to be paying attention to something more important, which of course I will bring out to you guys as we do go further into this update. So Cardano's price right now is currently sitting at 91.98 cents. So pretty much 92 cents right now as of recording this update. Also down 2.6% in Bitcoin comparative. Valuation 33.5 billion in the 24-hour trading volume at about $2.6 billion. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So I wanted to go over this specific article that just was published and kind of wanted to see what this article says and wanted to share that with you guys. So ADA price to $2 question mark. The price action and momentum indicators have given a signal that could lead to an increase towards $2. Next in line is the wave count, which gives a very similar target of $1.84. According to the count, the Cardano price completed a 5-wave upwards movement, green and ABC correction, red, where the waves A and C have the same length. So, pretty much kind of talking about this right here and, obviously the previous pattern as well. And, projecting these specific targets to be retested. And I agree with the setup. I definitely agree with this setup. And I do believe that, we are in for a breakout. And on top of that, the Cardano price is currently in a wave 3 of issuing 5-wave upward movement, which could take to $1.84. While correction could occur along the way, the ADA price has likely started the most parabolic portion of its upwards movement, leading to the new cycle high. You see this right here? I totally agree with that, and this is something I've been emphasizing on my channel. And new cycle high incoming with a triple bottom pattern in place and key indicators turning positive. Cardano looks ready for a decisive move higher. Obviously, targets first are, in terms of resistance, this analyst projects $1.84 to $2.06. But if the trend holds, ADA could be heading for a new cycle high in the months ahead. Very interesting stuff. But what's even more interesting right now, if you are a Cardano holder, is what I'm about to share with you guys. So, of course, you're looking at the dominance still within this accumulation zone, and I have kind of drawn these lines for you guys to understand as to what's really happening. Since breaking below 60%, we have not seen the dominance breaking above 60%, which is a good sign that, even though we did see quite a sharp pullback for Bitcoin yesterday, coming down to $114,000, you did see, the dominance not breaking out of that 60%. And that is a big key takeaway that, we want to not neglect. This is very, very important, and we're still accumulating within this pattern for the Bitcoin dominance. And I still believe that we are going to break below the 59% level, which we retested just on the 13th. And again, this level hasn't been retested since the beginning of the year. And altcoin season is still intact. People think altcoin season is not in play. Altcoin season is still in play. If you're looking at the last 1 month, if you're looking at the last 1 week, that speaks for itself. But with that being said, if you're looking at Bitcoin here, Bitcoin dropped below 115,000 key support line. And I'm sure if you follow my channel, you guys know the significance of the 115,000. We dropped below that, came down to $114,656, briefly held around here, and made our way back up right away, which is nice to see as we did start off a week. I indicated in my XRP update last night, I think it's, market manipulators as well as market makers stepping in to shake out the major amounts of longs, specifically with Ethereum. Because if you're looking at inflows coming in towards ETH, it's been insane amount of inflows, record high inflows, and more people are bullish, which of course is where you will see these types of swings occurring. And this is why you want to stay away from leverage trading platforms, as I state in every single update. But we saw Bitcoin also break below 115,000, but you can see how fast we are recovering back up to this range, and this is exactly where you want to see the price of Bitcoin sitting at, but preferably above 117,000, which we actually almost retested not too long ago, but we still have a lot of time. I want to see the close above the $117,000. But with that being said, let's take a look at what's happening with ADA and how the price of Cardano reacted to this major retracement yesterday. Believe it or not, we did see about almost 8 to 9% pullback for a lot of coins. But if you're looking at ADA, of course ADA is going to react. If you think ADA is going to be an exception, absolutely not. It still reacted initially to that market move. So you can see, we were sitting at about 98.7 cents. We saw a retracement of about 10%. So a 10% pullback. Again, not surprised because, of course, you did see the entire market go down. But look at the way we have bounced already. If you want to put this into perspective, looking at an increase of about 4%, and we're getting very close to going back to where we were. And the fact that we're still in this upward trend is something I want you guys to keep in mind. The price of Cardano has held very, very nicely. We're still sitting above 90 cents price point. This is something I don't want you guys to neglect, and this is something I want you guys to keep in mind. Cardano price has held its ground quite nicely. Yes, it was impacted by the broader market momentum, but we did not even retest the likes of the 85.7 cents key support line, based off of the move that we did see for Bitcoin. If Cardano was not holding onto this momentum that it has, I think we would have retested the 85.74% price point. So, if you want to put this into perspective, from the beginning of this month, we are still up 34% on ADA. So I'm still loving the way this setup is going. Obviously, we do have some support around this range, but at the same time, some resistance coming in our way as we are trying to break out. If this is able to push above and we're able to trend this into support, I'm projecting 98.3 cents to be retested in the very near future. So really liking the setup here. We discussed whether or not I could see ADA reaching $10 in my last update. Great feedback. A lot of people shared their own personal opinions. And, forget about $10. We're seeing on Twitter, which is, of course, now known as X now. Follow me on there if you have not done so already. But on X, people are talking about ADA sitting at $25, and those are crazy price predictions going on. I don't think that's going to happen. Of course, we're going to keep it realistic. I'm not going to just overly, be unrealistic with you guys. That's not going to be the case. I bring you guys realistic updates, and even if you watched my $10 update, we looked at it from a very realistic standpoint. I kind of went over what would Cardano need to do in order to reach those valuations. And if you have not watched, I strongly suggest you guys to do so. But so far, so good. Like what I'm seeing here with ADA. Subscribe if you have not done so already. We'll see you later. Been Crypto ZX, and peace out.